The Big Four.
The financial world worships a pantheon of four titans, unmatched in their power and influence. These firms act as the unseen guardians, eyes gleaming over the mountainous accounts of global corporations. Is the financial world built on a foundation of sand? Unraveling the truth begins now. Beyond the books, the conflict between consulting and auditing. The supposed impartiality of these titans is being called into question. Their reach has expanded far beyond simply auditing the mountainous accounts. They now whisper in the ears of these corporations, offering advice on everything from where to hidden their tax treasures to ways to streamline their financial arteries. This duality of roles breeds a monster called conflict of interest. Imagine a watchdog who also sells treats to the sheep he's supposed to protect. How vigilant can his bark be if a juicy contract depends on turning a blind eye to the occasional straying? Critics argue that the temptation to maintain lucrative consulting deals could cloud the auditor's judgment. Potential financial irregularities might be downplayed, discrepancies overlooked, all to keep the consulting cash flowing. This erodes the very foundation of trust upon which the financial world rests. A legacy of missed red flags, the Wirecard debacle and beyond. The supposed infallibility of these titans is shattered by a trail of broken trust. Major financial meltdowns expose gaping holes in their supposedly impeccable auditing record. Take Wirecard, a German payments giant that went up in flames. EY, the firm entrusted with guarding their financial gates, somehow missed a whopping €1.9 billion vanishing act from their balance sheet. And Wirecard wasn't a one-off tragedy. Similar disasters have played out across the globe. In the UK, Carillion and BHS became cautionary tales after their spectacular collapses. India too witnessed the Satyam Computers scandal, where massive accounting irregularities went unchecked by the supposed watchdogs. The pattern is unmistakable. The Big Four repeatedly failed to detect enormous financial misconduct, leading to corporate implosions. These fiascos raise alarming questions. Are the auditing methods employed by these firms fundamentally flawed? Can investors ever truly trust the financial information presented by companies if the gatekeepers themselves seem blind to blatant irregularities? The revolving door. Regulators who forget how to regulate the story takes a more sinister turn with the revelation of a troubling revolving door. Auditors, privy to the inner workings and potential loopholes of the Big Four's practices, seamlessly transition out of their firms and into lucrative positions at the very regulatory agencies, tasked with overseeing the industry. This creates a dangerous environment where regulators, once colleagues, or even superiors of these auditors become less likely to aggressively scrutinize their former employers. This creates a breeding ground for complacency, where potential red flags are downplayed and a culture of "let's not rock the boat" takes hold. But the plot thickens further. This revolving door swings both ways. Regulators, after their stint overseeing the industry with a supposedly objective eye, often find themselves welcomed back into the plush embrace of the Big Four, this time with potentially hefty signing bonuses and lucrative salaries. This cyclical exchange weakens regulatory oversight to a point of near impotence. The potential for conflicts of interest becomes undeniable. Regulators, having cozied up to the very firms they're supposed to be holding accountable, might hesitate to take strong action for fear of jeopardizing their future career prospects at the Big Four. The global shell game, facilitating tax avoidance schemes. The public's trust in the Big Four takes another precipitous plunge when we delve into the labyrinthine world of tax havens. These are shadowy corners of the financial system, countries with tax rates that approach the realm of the invisible. Here the titans stand accused of aiding and abetting multinational corporations in crafting elaborate tax avoidance schemes. These schemes function by diverting profits into shell companies, empty husks existing only on paper within these tax havens, to exploit loopholes in the international tax system. By artfully shifting profits through these financial mirages, corporations can dramatically slash their tax bills, leaving governments with gaping holes in their budgets. This lost revenue represents resources that could have been directed towards vital public services, hospitals, schools, infrastructure, that underpin the health and well-being of a society. The Big Four are allegedly the masterminds behind these complex tax labyrinths. They're accused of not only designing these structures, but also of actively implementing them. acting as financial illusionists who orchestrate the transfer of profits into tax havens. This raises a troubling ethical question. Are the Big Four more interested in maximizing corporate profits, regardless of the societal impact, than in upholding a fair and equitable tax system? The image that emerges is one where the titans prioritize lining the coffers of multinational corporations over the collective good. This erosion of public trust sows the seeds of resentment, as citizens witness essential services go inadequately funded while corporations appear to be playing a rigged tax game. The narrative that unfolds paints a picture of the Big Four, not as impartial guardians but as active participants in a system that undermines the very foundation of a fair and just society. Breaking the cycle, the road to reform. Regaining public trust in the financial system hinges on a comprehensive reform of the auditing industry, particularly in regards to the Big Four's dominance. A critical first step is enforcing a stricter separation between consulting and auditing services. This dismantles the inherent conflict of interest, where auditors, pressured to maintain lucrative consulting contracts, may prioritize those interests over their core responsibility of meticulously scrutinizing a company's finances. Secondly, regulatory oversight of the Big Four must be significantly bolstered. This could involve establishing independent oversight boards with robust investigative powers. Alternatively, strengthening existing regulations and empowering existing regulators would provide a more rigorous external check to ensure the Big Four adhere to the highest standards. Furthermore, fostering competition within the auditing industry is crucial. The current dominance of the Big Four stifles innovation and creates an environment where complacency can breed. Encouraging the growth of mid-sized firms would introduce much-needed checks and balances, fostering a more robust and competitive marketplace. This would benefit both companies seeking a wider range of auditing options and investors who rely on the accuracy of financial information. Finally, holding auditors accountable for failing to detect fraud is paramount. Currently, the potential consequences for negligence may be insufficient. Implementing harsher penalties, including significant financial fines and even potential criminal charges in egregious cases, would send a clear message that auditors have a serious responsibility and that negligence will not be tolerated. This not only deters future misconduct, but also fosters a culture of meticulousness within the auditing profession. By enacting these reforms, we can begin to rebuild public trust in the financial system and ensure that corporations are held to the highest standards of transparency and accountability. The financial health of the global economy hinges on trust in the auditing process. Until the Big Four address these critical issues and commit to genuine reform, the shadow of doubt over their practices will continue to loom large. Their actions not only impact individual investors, but also have the potential to destabilize entire economies. Only through a concerted effort to promote transparency, accountability, and a stricter separation of duties can the Big Four regain public trust and fulfill their essential role as guardians of the financial system.